This week in Google Makes Me Look Clever, hoi polloi. Hoi polloi. Let's get straight into this one. Hoi polloi means the many or the people. If you're out there and you thought that it meant the upper classes or the upper crusts, you're not alone. Apparently this is quite a common misconception. In fact, I thought that for a number of years, probably because someone else told me that that's what it meant. And then I actually read it within context and realised that it meant the many. It's an ancient Greek saying, or ancient Greek phrase, although getting to the bottom of whether the Greeks actually used it seems to be quite a thorny, contended issue. I've included in the links below a discussion on a philosophy page about where it came from in the writings of Heraclitus, who I'm hoping I've said his name properly. As with a lot of those old or ancient Greek philosophers, all that we have are scraps or sentences or quotes from other people left of their writing. There's even some discussion on how to say it. One source, which again I'll link below, from what appears to be a Greek Christian scholar, saying that the proper Greek saying would be "E polloi." We're not going to get bogged down by that today, as this is about the English phrase hoi polloi, and although it has Greek roots, we're talking about the context of English use. And in that context, it's hoi polloi. Getting back to its meaning, you can use it as a gateway into another phrase, that phrase being hoi polloi. If that sounds familiar, then well, consider the word oligarchy. Hoi polloi meaning the few. Although in the original Greek it doesn't seem to have any kind of connotation apart from just to mean lots of people, in English it generally means, well, negative things really. Synonyms in English are the herd, the riffraff, the great unwashed, plebs, proles, and, amusingly, sheeple. Wake up, sheeple. And get yourself a cup of tea. It'll be all right. The earliest recorded example of this word this phrase in English is by John Dryden, who was a human being, satirist, poet laureate, and he used that term in the ripe old year of 1688. A later recorded use is by serial shagger Lord Byron. Both of them used the term the hoi polloi. And this is the point where the grammarians enter stage right. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Although rules in grammar are important, that we all need some kind of structure to, bind our words to build our castles of... that's a terrible metaphor. Basically, grammar is good, but if you're too inflexible about it, that's not always useful. So, hoi polloi. What's the argument? Hoi polloi means the many, as we've already said, the hoi bit being the. So to write or to say the hoi polloi is wrong, because that means the many. But here's the thing, John Dryden, that guy earlier on who wrote all that poetry and did some other things, and also Lord Byron McShagalot, who also wrote the hoi polloi, used the. So you would have to find a very special breed of pedant to get them to argue with John Dryden or Lord Byron. But this is a bit of a looser example. Shall we use something which is a bit more sort of, something that we all use and even the hardest of grammarians would use? Alcohol. Alcohol, they might not drink it, but if they have to spell it or write it, then they will spell it with the al at the beginning, A-L. Alcohol has its roots in an Arabic word, and the al bit means the. So if you write the alcohol, then you are writing the coal. It's the same story with the word alchemist. The beginning of the word alchemist is al. Again, the chemist. By the way, credit for that argument goes to phrases.org, not me. So what do? Well, you probably don't worry about it and get on with your life. But if you are going to write hoi polloi, then I would say probably write it as hoi polloi without the, depending on the context of the sentence. Byron used the probably because it felt better with the context of the sentence, and look where that got him, into the history books and probably with some chlamydia. So there you go, hoi polloi. This word was suggested by someone who I spoke to on Happen, so there you are. That's what happens on That's what happens on Happen, is people give me suggestions to do words for video. But also, I sort of thought about when the first time I'd heard of this word, and the first time I heard of it was in a PlayStation 1 advert, which I will link here, I believe. If you haven't seen the advert, I suggest very strongly that you watch it. It's just over a minute long, or just under a minute long, and it's actually kind of a piece of poetry about playing games. How did you come across this phrase? Maybe let me know in the comments, or don't. Get on with your life. If you've made it this far through the video, I'm now going to bore you with other video recommendations. If you'd like to see another video where I talk about most likely probably a word or a phrase, you can click here. And if you would like to listen to a story or watch a story that I've made, then you can press a digit into this link here. And if you'd like to do a subscribe, just press the link on my face, on my forehead. Don't worry, it won't hurt me. This isn't real. Bye then. Bye.